The Assembly will hear an address by His Excellency Samdech Moha Borvor Thipadei Manet Hun, Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Cambodia. I request protocol to escort His Excellency. I have great pleasure in welcoming His Excellency Samdech Moha Borvor Thipadei Manet Hun, Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Cambodia. I invite him to address the Assembly.
Excellency Denis Francis, President of the General Assembly, Excellency Antonio Guterres, UN Secretary General, Excellencies, distinguished delegates.
Denis Francis, on his elections as President of the 78th session of the UN General Assembly. Our debate is timely and very relevant to the current global context. Rebuilding trust and reigniting global solidarity, accelerating actions on the 2030 agenda and its sustainable development goals toward peace, prosperity, progress, and sustainability for all. It is my great pleasure to address this esteemed gathering today as the new Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Cambodia. I am committed to working closely with all member states under this august body of the United Nations to realize our shared aspirations. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, I share the prevailing concerns over the growing global instability and geopolitical tensions we all witness at present. The escalation of the war in Ukraine and its grave consequences reflects a significant erosion of trust among member states and lack of confidence in multilateralism. The competitions between super and major powers has diverted all available resources to expand security capabilities amid widening gaps in funding to address the lingering effects of COVID-19 and achieve the SDG 2030 agenda. Climate change is meanwhile threatening the existence of humanity. Without our bold and urgent actions, the world will see further increases in poverty, hunger, and risk of pandemics, and more entrenched cycles of instability and conflicts. It is now high time to restore the strategic security trust among all nations and trust in rule-based global systems, in which all states fully respect international laws and norms and principles enshrined in the UN Charter. We should strengthen and leverage the convening power of the United Nations systems to help reignite global solidarity to build a safer and more prosperous world for all. First and foremost, we must more strongly emphasize addressing development issues and preventing existing conflict from widening. In this regard, Cambodia highly appreciates the UN Secretary General's new agenda for peace with its ambitious recommendations for global stability and his vision for future of global cooperation as outlined in his report, Our Common Agenda. We strongly support his SDG and climate initiative. I am confident that his call for an SDG stimulus to invest $500 billion a year on sustainable development and climate action between now and 2030 will put progress on SDG implementation back on track. The Climate Solidarity Pact he proposed will lead to a reduction of emissions in line with principles of common but differentiated responsibilities. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, with enduring peace and stability, Cambodia continues to make notable progress on every front. Over the past 2 decades, poverty fell steadily at an average annual rate of 1.6%, and our economy grew by more than 7% a year until COVID-19 broke out. We were hailed as one of the most successful countries in controlling the pandemic and recovering from its impact. Economic growth returned to 5.2% in 2022 and is expected to continue growing at 5.6% in 2023. As highlighted in our second voluntary national review in July, 72.5% of Cambodia's SDG indicators and sub-indicators are well on track. The country is steadily transitioning from least developed to developing country status in 2027. This is thanks to sound government policies and our ability to maintain peace, political stability, high economic growth, equitable distribution of benefits from growth, and forging good cooperation with all stakeholders. Our democratic building process has steadily advanced. In July of this year, Cambodia successfully held general elections with 18 political parties contesting. Over 8.2 million people casted their ballots, a turnout rate of 84.59%. This is the highest since UN supervised election in 1993 and a clear indication of our people's greater political maturity and enthusiasm in exercising their democratic rights. The election has been widely assessed as free and fair, credible and just by thousands of observers, including 333 from abroad representing 65 countries. Excellencies, distinguished delegates. Like many developing countries, Cambodia has a lot more to do to reach our goal of becoming an upper middle income country by 2030 and a resilient, vibrant, and prosperous high income country by 2050. To this end, and in line with Secretary General's call for member states to deliver a rescue plan for peoples and planet, my government is committed to taking transformative actions through our recently launched Pentagonal strategy for Cambodia's socio-economic development over the next 25 years. The Pentagonal strategy is being implemented from phase 1 in the 5 areas of growth, employment, equity, efficiencies, and sustainability. The 5 key priorities are people, road, water, electricity, and technology, especially digital technology to address the fourth industrial revolution and digital transformation of Cambodia economy. I would like to add that the main objective of this strategy include, on the one hand, maintaining the good momentum of peace, economic growth, and development in general. On the other, building and strengthening the foundation to accelerate national development through resilience in 5 areas: the public sector, the economy, the financial sector, human and social capital, and the environment, including climate change response. For the success of the Pentagonal strategies, Cambodia will accelerate its governance reform to ensure that our public administrations runs efficiently with a high level of integrity. We will safeguard peace, political stability, security, and social order, and maintain macroeconomic stability. To this end, Cambodia will further enhance partnerships and cooperations for development and keep welcoming the support of all friendly partners, both technicals and financials, to help Cambodia achieve its SDGs while continuing to deepen its regional and global integrations. Cambodia will continue on its present path of independence and neutral foreign policy based on the rule of law, equal mutual respect, and adherence to the principle of the UN Charter, to promote its national interests, strengthen existing friendships, and build more amicable ties. Cambodia remains resolute against the threat or use of force in international relations, interference in the internal affairs of, and aggression against other independent nations. Cambodia shall not authorize any foreign military base on its territory, as clearly stated in its constitution. Cambodia will not allow any country nor any group to use its territory against another country. Cambodia will further endeavor to strengthen and expand good cooperations with nations around the world through bilateral, regional, and international frameworks to contribute to global peace, security, stability, sustainable development, and prosperity shared by all. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, in addition to the SDGs under the global framework, Cambodia has added its own specific goals relating to mine actions, namely a mine-free Cambodia by 2025. In this effort, we call for continued financial and technical support. We also urge greater participation by the international community to raise awareness of the dangers of landmines and unexploded ordnance, the hidden killers that threaten human security even after armed conflicts end. Cambodia welcomes the Global Accelerator on Jobs and Social Protections for Just Transitions, initiated by His Excellency Antonio Guterres. We are proud to be selected as one of the 10 potential Pathfinder countries. To achieve the SDGs, Cambodia calls on international community to intensify efforts, strengthen cooperations, and rebuild trust and confidence to end wars, address the root cause of conflicts, and reinvigorate solidarity for SDG achievement. As a troop contributing country, Cambodia fully supports increasing the portion of ODA for peace building. Cambodia remains steadfast in its commitment to PKOs in contributing to international peace, security, stability, which are crucial for sustainable development. To further contribute to this process, Cambodia has decided to stand for membership of the Organizational Committee of the Peace Building Commission for the term 2025 to 2026. We seek your invaluable support for our candidature to this body. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, in conclusions, despite many challenges and instability, we can build a better world for all by working together towards our common goals with reinforced mutual trust and global solidarity. Cambodia fully supports the adoption of the SDG Summit political declarations and the draft decisions of the Summit of the Future. These documents will help keep the SDGs on track and ensure their achievement by 2030. Thank you very much.
On behalf of the Assembly, I wish to thank the Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Cambodia for the statement just made, and I request protocol to escort His Excellency.